Hello and welcome to this edition of FYI Weekly, your official source for City of Greensboro news and information. The Guilford County Commissioners voted to reinstate its mandatory indoor mask policy for all persons throughout Guilford County, regardless of vaccination status. Pursuant to the Guilford County Board of Health rule, individuals must wear face coverings when indoors in all public places. Failure to comply could result in civil penalties. County residents and business owners are encouraged to follow all directives and recommendations set forth by the Guilford County Board of Health, the North Carolina Department of Health and Human Services, and the Guilford County Department of Public Health. Guilford County Board of Commissioners Chair Melvin Skip Alston said this Board of Health rule is necessary to safeguard our residents, visitors, local businesses, as well as protect our public health partners and county emergency management resources. It is always the right time to do the right thing. Regardless of your vaccination status, we know wearing a mask helps prevent the transmission of the COVID-19 virus, and we know it saves lives. County officials are educating the public about the newly adopted rule and masking requirements. For the latest information about COVID-19 and to learn more about the newly adopted Board of Health rule, visit Guilford County's website. For many Greensboro residents, the aftermath of the extensive damage caused by the 2018 tornado that hit the city's east side is a distant memory. Many others, however, are reminded daily of the destruction to their neighborhood and loss of property. There are still areas of Greensboro where downed and dead trees from the storm have created blight, overgrowth, and habitats for vermin. To clean up these areas, the City of Greensboro is using state disaster recovery funds to provide professional removal and cleanup of tornado-damaged trees on private residential property and dedicated city property. No funds will be given directly to property owners. The application deadline is Sunday, October 31st. The program will continue as long as disaster recovery funds are available. Program application eligibility and next steps are outlined on the city's website. Applications must be completed and submitted to the city's Code Compliance Office, which is a division of the Neighborhood Development Department. City employee Gary Canapino will serve as the new manager of community relations. He is replacing Donna Gray, who retires August 31st. Gray, a Greensboro native, joined the city in 1997 as an administrative assistant in general services. In 1999, she moved into community relations to help resolve resident concerns, which led to the creation of this office, which has been in operation for more than 20 years. Canapino joined the city in August 2019 as Parking Operations Manager with the Department of Transportation. He officially assumed his role in community relations in June 2021. His professional background also includes municipal government experience in Connecticut with the towns of Orange and Milford. Canapino received his Bachelor of Science degree in Legal Studies, Criminal Justice from Charter Oak State College and earned a master's degree in Public Administration from Troy University. The Community Relations Division partners with community members in navigating city services to resolve community concerns, creating long-term positive relationships throughout Greensboro. The office relies on a well-established network of internal and external resources to provide support for Greensboro residents and businesses. The city developed a partnership with Cone Health to share a series of brief and informative videos designed to inspire you to make better choices when it comes to healthy living. Following these tips is an easy way to help each of us improve our quality of life. Let's take a moment to check out today's news for your health.
Addiction is a disease that affects your ability to make healthy, rational decisions. And it's one of the primary health concerns of our time. Let's talk about it. What is addiction? Addiction is a complicated issue. Addiction can look like a lot of different things, but primarily we associate addiction with the loss of control over a certain substance, alcohol, drugs, or a certain behavior too. It's really important to understand that addiction impacts your brain. On a fundamental level, addiction essentially rewires your brain to where you become dependent on the drug or drink or the behavior, and you start to associate that with survival. which is why you often see people make really irrational decisions and do things that they would never do if they weren't addicted. Anyone can be at risk for addiction. It doesn't matter your race, your age, your gender, your socioeconomic status, your level of intelligence. So what are some of the signs that you're dealing with an addiction? One of the ways that you can tell is by asking yourself 4 simple questions. Have you ever felt like you need to cut down on your drinking? Have you ever felt like you were annoyed when someone criticized you about how much you're drinking or drugging? Have you ever felt guilty about how much you're drinking or drugging? And finally, have you ever had a drink or drug early in the morning, what I call an eye-opener, something to kind of get your day started? If you answered yes to 2 or more of these questions, you may be struggling with an addiction. So what are the signs you can look for in someone else who you think might be struggling with an addiction? One of the key signs is isolation. If you find that a loved one is continually getting further and further isolated and leaving you out, leaving you in the dark, not letting you know about what they're up to, if they're also giving up on activities or interests that they used to have, reducing their level of activity. Another sign is if they're drinking or drugging more than they plan to. If someone tells you, I'm gonna have 2 or 3 drinks tonight, and it ends up being 4, 5, or 6, and then the next day it's the same thing, that's a sign that your tolerance is increasing and you might be struggling with addiction. With cancer, diabetes, heart disease, it's very common to get a family history and to tell your doctor everything you know about what your family struggled with. And for some reason, addiction's considered different, but it shouldn't be. Addiction is just like those other diseases in that if we know that a family member, typically going back 2 generations, if we know that they struggled with addiction, that can be a big indicator and a big help for a counselor who's assessing for addiction. So how do you talk about addiction with a family member? That's a really touchy subject. One important thing to know is talk about it when they're sober. Talk about it when they're not using. Talk about addiction in behavioral terms. Talk about things that you've noticed change in their behavior, in their level of activity, in their consequences of their life. Keeping things simple, plain, and understandable is the biggest way to help your loved one. So what do you do when people deny that they have an addiction? Oftentimes this is when professional help is necessary. Making an appointment with a counselor, a family counselor, a substance abuse counselor. We live in such an exciting time for addiction treatment. There are so many options for what to do. Yes, there's the classic inpatient 28-day rehab facility. There's also 12-step meetings, Alcoholics Anonymous, Narcotics Anonymous. A lot of these are really familiar, but there's new and exciting treatments as well. So here at Cone, we have an IOP, that's an intensive outpatient program. It's primarily group counseling. And group counseling is shown to be the most effective form of substance abuse counseling because it gets at that isolation piece. It helps people feel more understood. Another way you can treat addiction is by talking with your primary care physician about medications for cravings. Right now we have exciting medications that are very safe and well studied that can help people tolerate and deal with those triggers and those cravings that happen in early recovery. Thank you for joining me today. I hope this information has been helpful in learning about addictions. If you want to learn more, go to conehealth.com/behavioral health. Thanks again. I'm Wes Swan.
The city is hosting a major league event for job seekers eager to hit a home run with the ideal employer and calling all musicians. Rehearsals are coming up for the city's concert group. We'll have those stories and more news coming up after the break. Stay with us. Welcome back to FYI Weekly. Mark your calendar. Guilford Works is hosting a major league hiring event in partnership with Truist Point Stadium in High Point. The job fair is taking place on Thursday, August 26th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Hundreds of jobs are available. The list of participating employers includes an all-star lineup. Applicants must provide a resume and contact information to NC Works Career Center and have an active NC Works registration. Staff will be on hand to assist anyone who needs to register. Safety protocols such as wearing a face mask and social distancing are required for any unvaccinated individuals attending the event. The Guilford County NC Works Career Centers provide the community with a variety of no-cost resources to help job seekers acquire sustainable income and meaningful employment. For more information, visit the Guilford Works website. Creative Greensboro is inviting musicians to register for the fall semester of its Music Ensembles program. Musicians must be at least high school age with previous instrumental or vocal experience to join one or more of the volunteer music ensembles. The ensembles serve as creative ambassadors for the community and perform at a variety of city-sponsored concerts throughout the year. Rehearsals for each ensemble begin in early September, and registration deadlines vary by group. The Philharmonia of Greensboro seeks musicians with previous orchestral experience. Rehearsal is on Wednesdays from 7:30 p.m. to 9:30 p.m. beginning September 1st. The Choral Society of Greensboro welcomes singers of all abilities to learn and perform symphonic, traditional, and contemporary choral works. The ensemble will rehearse on Tuesdays from 7:30 p.m. to 9:30 p.m. beginning September 7th. The Greensboro Big Band invites musicians with intermediate to advanced experience playing swing-style jazz music. Rehearsal is on Tuesdays from 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. beginning September 7th. The Greensboro Concert Band welcomes musicians with previous band experience. The ensemble will rehearse on Mondays from 7:30 p.m. to 9:30 p.m. beginning September 13th. For more information, visit the city's website or contact Meredith Gornto at 336-373-2547. The City of Greensboro is making it easy for residents to lower their carbon footprint and conserve water by investing in backyard compost bins and rain barrels at discounted prices. The city is selling 80-gallon Earth Machine compost bins for $50. The 55-gallon cistern rain barrels are $69.95. The sale is open to all Guilford County residents. Online orders will be processed through October 1st. Bins and barrels can be picked up at the White Street landfill from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. on Saturday, October 9th. 25% of a typical household's waste can be composted. Keeping these items out of trash cans frees up space at the landfill and cuts down on carbon and methane emissions released in landfills. Composting also reduces the need for chemical fertilizers, helps soil retain moisture, and prevents soil erosion. Rain barrels help conserve water, reduces stormwater runoff, and minimizes the need for chemical fertilizers. Place your order by visiting the city's website. The White Street landfill is located at 2503 White Street. One nonprofit group is lining up all the elements to host the city's first ever Latin Festival. Coming up after the break, find out when the festival takes place and what the organizers have in store. Stay with us. Welcome back to FYI Weekly. Greensboro prides itself as being a city centered on arts and culture. From the Folk Fest and Eastern Music Festival, there's something for everyone. Joining me now to promote a new festival coming on the scene is James Rosa. He is the Executive Director of the Rosa Foundation. Hello, James. Welcome back.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for having me on.
Thank you for joining me. So tell us about the Latin Festival and how the idea and name came about.
Well, Latin Festival 2020, Vente Vente means 2020 in Spanish. And last year we was going to have the Latin Festival last year, but due to COVID, we couldn't have it. But we also wanted to keep the name 2020 to recognize those that we have lost due to COVID last year and for the survivors as well. Plus, it's a catchy name, 2020. I like the way it sounds.
Okay, so Latin Festival 2020.
Well, it's Vente Vente Latin Festival.
Okay, let me get it right. Vente Vente Latin Festival.
Yes.
And this is the first time we're having this type of event.
Yes, we are. Yes, we are.
Okay, so who are the performers you have lined up for the entertainment?
Well, we have some performers. They're coming out of, some of them coming out of Charlotte, some of them coming out of Fayetteville. Just to name one or two, we got one is, of course, her name is Easy. She is a solo artist. We have Milton, which is a solo artist. We have Orchestra 704, which is the band. Zumba Roomba, which is also one of the bands. So they'll be coming in to celebrate.
Nice. So you have a variety of
Yes.
performers, from individual artists to the big bands.
Yes.
And if you know Latin music, the big bands are always a dancing kind
Yes,
of
dancing,
scenario.
fun, excitement. Yes.
Yes, looking forward to that. Now, of course, people are concerned about the variants. Do you have pandemic protocols in place for
Yes,
the performers and the attendees?
Yes, we definitely want everyone to have face masks on. We are looking to have wash stations and hand sanitizer stations, and we're also going to have some people from the medical field that's going to be out giving out the vaccines as well. So if you come to the festival and you haven't had your vaccine, you can get it there.
Okay, that's great. A nice way to tie that into the memorial that you're saying that you want to remember
Yes.
those we lost in 2020 to
Yes.
COVID-19. So why is that? Is that the cause for the Rosa Foundation hosting the Latin Festival?
Well, the purpose of the Latin Festival is to celebrate Hispanic Heritage Month, which is from the middle of September to the middle of October. And we also going to have our Men's Making Positive Changes award ceremony in November. And at that event, we want to give out at least 2 scholarships. So that's where we want to raise the money.
And what is the best way for people to volunteer for the festival or make a donation to your scholarship?
To volunteer, they can go to Volunteer Center of the Triad, and they can register there, or they can go on our website, which there's a link there for it as well.
Okay. And of course, we need to know, when is the festival? Where is it taking place? How can sponsors and vendors support this Latin Festival?
Once again, if they want to donate, they can go to rosa-foundation.com, which is our website, or they can email us if they want to be a part of the event at rosafoundation@outlook.com. And they can donate that way. It's going to be September 18th at Barber Park, at our beautiful Barber Park. Please come out. Everybody's welcome. You don't have to be Hispanic to enjoy the music and the food. We're going to have some food vendors. We're going to have a good time.
Wonderful. Well, I love Latin music. I love the food, the flavor, the flair. It's going to be a lot of fun. So I'm looking forward to that.
We also are still looking for sponsorship, and we still are looking for food vendors to come out. And again, you can reach me at rosafoundation@outlook.com.
Okay. Well, being that it's our first Latin Festival, I'm sure it's going to be a great success.
Yes.
Looking forward to that. And
Yes.
do come back and let us know how it turned out.
Will do. Thank you.
Thank you. Stay tuned for some useful information about Greensboro as we tell you something about the city. That's coming up after the break. Stay with us. Welcome back to FYI Weekly. One way to stay informed about decisions that impact our city is by attending or tuning in to City Council meetings at 5:30 p.m. on the first and third Tuesday of the month. The fourth Tuesday is reserved for a meeting as needed. In response to the growing cases of the COVID-19 Delta variant and to prevent its possible spread, all meetings of the Greensboro City Council, as well as boards and commissions, will be conducted virtually. Until further notice, meetings will be conducted via Zoom. City boards and commissions will be led by their city staff liaison. All electronic meetings will follow standard protocols and procedures for the respective board and commission. The Greensboro City Council meetings are broadcast right here on GTN. The meetings are also streamed live on the city's website and on Roku. When in person, the City Council meets on Level 2 of the Melvin Municipal Office Building, located at 300 West Washington Street. To review the council meeting schedule and agendas, please visit the city's website. Here's an opportunity to learn a little something about the city. Nominations are being accepted now through October 1st for the Greensboro History Museum's Voices of a City Award. This prestigious honor recognizes significant and original contributions to local history. Nominations are being accepted for both individuals and organizations. Submissions from high school and college students will be judged in a separate category. A variety of projects is being considered, and collectors of historical documents or artifacts are also eligible. Nominations should include a letter and at least one example of work for consideration provided in either hard copy or digital format. The Greensboro History Museum Community Engagement Committee and its advisory board will be the judges. The award presentation will take place during the Greensboro History Museum's annual dinner taking place on November 4th. Send submissions to Museum Director Carol Hart at the Greensboro History Museum located at 130 Summit Avenue in Greensboro. For more information about the nomination process, call the museum at 336-373-2306. Coming up after the break, we'll showcase our department spotlight, but first, meet the people who boomeranged back to Greensboro.
My name is Phoebe Murray, and I am a consultant in workforce retention and recruitment. I came back from the Triangle area because my family was ready to settle down and buy a home. Charles and I are fortunate that we're both primarily remote workers, so we have the flexibility to work from home at this point in our lives when we're trying to spend as much time as possible together with our family and watching our daughter grow up.
My name is JT Job, and I'm a software developer at Innovations for Learning. I left Greensboro in 2005, and it's changed so much since then. Greensboro is great for my career. Since I work remotely as a developer, there's a fantastic community of people working at a co-working space downtown. I love living in Fisher Park because it's so beautiful. The architecture, the trees, everything that you get with the historic district. And we have the beautiful actual park in the middle of the neighborhood that's just a great place to go walking with your dog.
My family and I love to just get out for walks in the neighborhood. We pop into Deep Roots and pick up groceries to cook for dinner. We love strolling around Fisher Park. It's just a beautiful neighborhood to live in.
I like to joke that this is the second pandemic our home's been through. It was built in 1913, so we know it's over 100 years old. My wife Keely and I are expecting our first, and we couldn't be happier to be bringing her up in this beautiful house in this great neighborhood.
Welcome back. The City of Greensboro has more than 20 departments and several divisions committed to serving you, our residents and visitors. Let's go behind the scenes in our department spotlight. The City of Greensboro is hosting a virtual workshop intended to connect small businesses with future contracting opportunities with the city. The event will take place from 5:30 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. on Monday, August 23rd on Zoom. Small business owners who are interested in bidding on City of Greensboro projects are invited to attend the Building Relationships Workshop. Attendees will be given an access to a list of all upcoming city projects planned from now until June 30th, 2022. For a third year, this list is being compiled and made available for review at Building Relationships 2021 Overview of Forecasted City Projects. Online registration is required by Friday, August 20th. Once registered, attendees will receive the Zoom link. For more information, call the City's Office of Equity and Inclusion at 336-373-7980. Straight ahead on the other side of the break is this week's Way to Go GSO shout out. Stay with us. As we draw to a close, we always want to end on a positive note with our Way to Go GSO shout out. This week's shout out goes to the Greensboro History Museum. The museum's pieces of now, murals, masks, community stories, and conversations won 2 national awards from the American Alliance of Museums. The exhibit won the Gold Award in Research and Innovation for allowing community voices to be heard. The project also won the Silver Award for 2020 Response. Pieces of Now was developed in response to the social justice movement that sparked in May 2020. The exhibit is on display through November. As the Delta variant continues to spread, please remember to wear your mask, wash your hands often, and wait 6 feet apart. That concludes this edition of FYI Weekly, but you can easily stay connected to the latest city news by linking to us on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and Instagram. Alexa users can subscribe to our 5-minute flash briefings, which airs on 90.1 FM and 100.7 FM. Be sure to download our weekly podcast, Talk City Greensboro, and now GTN is streaming on Roku. For all of us here at the City of Greensboro, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.